No, he's here. He went to agriculture because they're working on something and we're getting bottleneck at the state, so he's helping them real quick. Yeah, but he's going to be here for the week. Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of April 26, 2022. Ms. Bork, please call the roll.
Committeeman Britting.
Here.
Committeeman Delcor.
Here.
Committeeman Thompson.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Erickson. Here. Mayor Lapani.
Here.
Administrator Ferreira.
Here.
And Attorney Willard.
Here. Please join me in salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Please be advised in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on April 26, 2022. I'll just make a note. Assemblyman Roy Fryman is here. Right now he's at a meeting across the hall, but he'll be in here shortly to help us acknowledge one of our recipients. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 12th, 2022?
So moved, Mayor.
Wait a second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Erickson. Yes. Mayor Lapani.
Yes. We'll now go to reports from community liaisons. We will start with Committeeman Britting.
All right. Hello, everybody. We'll start with health. So for those interested in obtaining the COVID booster, there will be a clinic on Thursday, April 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. here at the municipal building. Any interested parties can register online at hillsboroughcovidvax.timetap.com or call the health department at 908-369-5652. The booster is free, but please bring your COVID vaccination card and insurance and or Medicare cards if you have one. Next is recreation. Just a reminder, there is still time to register for summer camp through our recreation department. Same low prices last year, and weekly camp options are also available. Registration is available in person at the Recreation Department window or online at the Hillsborough Township website. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeeman Delcor.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple items this evening. Finance perspective, just a friendly reminder that from the Finance Department, that second quarter taxes we due on May the 1st. There's a 10-day calendar grace period which ends on May the 10th. If you did receive a homestead rebate, please make sure you look at your revised, because you'll have a revised bill that will have taken that credit into account on your tax bill. So just a note on that. From Somerset County, we're approaching primary season. So Somerset County Board of Elections is seeking poll workers to work the June 8th election. Poll workers would be paid $300 for 1 day's work. Starts at 5:15 a.m. and ends at 8:30 p.m. Sorry, after the polls close and all the machines are closed off. They do try to allow the poll workers to work as close to their home as possible, but final work locations will be determined by available vacancies. You must be registered to vote in Somerset County, or you can be a high school student between the age of 16 and 17. With 16 or 17, you have to be a United States citizen living in Somerset County with the permission of their parents and a high school representative. If you're interested in pursuing working on that day, you can please download the application at the Somerset County Board of Elections website, and you can then submit that to them. Finally, from the Board of Ed, a couple of items. If you get a chance, for those of you that are here or for those that are watching at home, if you get a chance to come in, we do have a very nice new colorful art display here in the municipal building through our hallways. That's many of Hillsborough students have contributed their art to show here in the hallways. We already have some art on display And the art show officially will open on Thursday, April the 28th, and it'll run through May the 27th. In addition, just final note, you may have seen that last night at the Board of Ed meeting, the Superintendent at Tunis tendered her resignation. We continue to work with the acting superintendent, Kim Feltry. Dr. Feltry has been very closely working with us here at the Township. We have a number of things that we're working on together. So we'll continue to move forward on projects where we can work together, and more to come on that. Just wanted to make sure if you hadn't seen that, that'll transpired officially last evening. That's all for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things from me. First, from the building department, the deadline for Superstorm Ida related damages is currently approaching. Construction permit fees associated with only the repairs resulting from damage caused by Tropical Storm Ida will be waived until the deadline of April 30th, 2022. From our engineering department, we would like to remind property owners that any construction project that requires digging into the ground must call the Call Before You Dig 811 call center to have all underground utilities marked out prior to construction. These markouts consist of colored flags and/or colored wearable paint on the street or in your front yard. Utilities not only in the street, but they can also be within the right-of-way, which is the first 10 to 20 feet of the front yard within the grass area. Sometimes residents contact the engineering office when they notice those flags in the front yards. Many times, the resident or a neighbor is installing a fence, swimming pool, addition, or other project, and the contractor is called the 811 markout number. It is law to call prior to digging of any kind. The chart in the slide, which is behind me, indicates the colors for each utility. Residents with questions about the specific markout may wish to reach out to 811 or visit the website nj1-call.org. From Public Works, residents are urged to take part in our annual cleanup program in order to dispose of any unwanted items that they have accumulated in their homes. The program runs on the first and last Saturdays through the end of October. Please visit Township website under the Public Works link for more information on how to participate. From some road closure updates, CR 567, which is River Road in Hillsborough, will be closed for approximately 10 weeks beginning on Monday, May 2nd. 2022. Norfolk Southern will be working on bridge repairs and will have an ongoing construction occurring at the train bridge on River Road by Elm Street. The work zone is approximately 700 feet, beginning 100 feet north of Elm Street. This road will be closed for the entirety duration of construction, and there will be posted detour in effect at Amwell Road and Opie Road. Project information, including the traffic control plans, can be found via the road projects link on the county's website. Just a reminder that New Jersey will ban all single-use plastic shopping bags 1 week from tomorrow, May 4th. To prepare us for this, we have been asking residents to share their reusable shopping bag tips. Here are some recommendations that have come into the community. Keep bags in your car, preferably in a convenient location, such as behind the driver's seat. Put reusable bags on the top of your shopping list so that when you review your list, you always remember to take the bags with you. Or you can help design the bags in your own house. There's tutorials online that can help you do that. For more information on New Jersey's Reusable Plastic Bag Initiative, please visit the NJDEP's Get Past Plastic webpage at nj.gov/DEP/getpastplastic. And speaking of reusable shopping bags, the official Hillsborough Township, the Green Life bags are in and are available for purchase in the clerk's office beginning this Wednesday, April 27th. That's tomorrow. The cost is $3 for one bag or $5 for two, cash or check only. Proceeds from the shopping bag sales will help fund recycling bins for our township parks. I believe the mayor will be recognizing the design just a little bit. And last but not least, from our Municipal Alliance and Borough Safe, Hope for Tomorrow. The Hope for Tomorrow Mental Health Fair takes place Friday, May 6th from 5 to 7 here at the Municipal Building. This event provides a wealth of information for Hillsborough families regarding wellness and features games, crafts, music, door prizes, and more. And there's still time to view the Chris Herron's documentary entitled The First Day, a 47-minute film screening and discussion on youth substance abuse, mental health, and social emotional well-being. The next viewing is tomorrow evening, April 27th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. here at the Municipal Building. It is a very good documentary. I encourage everyone to watch it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, this past Saturday, I had the great honor of participating in the opening day of Hillsborough Baseball League. I was accompanied along with committeeman and current coach, Britting, and committeeman and past HBL player, Thompson. So I was delighted to attend, and I appreciated the invitation. It was a great event to see, going out there and seeing all the kids and everybody having a good time and all the families. And I think I told her through a hard strike, but it was a little debatable. I don't know that it was my first pitch ever, so it was what it was. But it was a great time, and it was a real honor to be there, and it was great to see everybody out having a good time and ready to play ball. So with that said, so the police would like you to know that there's National Take Back Day is April 30th. This event, which happens twice a year, is a safe, convenient, and responsible way to dispose of unused or expired prescription medications. To participate, you can bring unwanted prescription medication to the police department between the hours of 10 and 2 on April 30th. Please do not drop off syringes or liquids. There's a reminder from the Hillsborough Municipal Court that the fine for a first-time cell phone-related ticket is $200 to $400 plus cost. For a second offense, the fine is $400 to $600 plus cost, and the third offense is $600 to $800 plus 3 points added to the driver's license and potential loss of license. So please don't use your phones while you're driving. And that is all for me.
Thank you. Just a few today. Reminder, as always, Hillsborough Salute to Military Service Breakfast, Memorial Day Parade, and commemorative events will take place on Saturday, May 28th. All Township military service personnel are invited to participate in the Salute to Military Service Breakfast, followed by a parade and a Garden of Honor ceremony. Guests can register for the breakfast by calling the Recreation Department or visiting the Parks and Recreation website. Look for the Register for Activities link to sign up. I've also had the honor to announce that this year's Grand Marshal would be Army veteran in Hillsborough, VFW Post number 8371, Senior Commander Alan McCrae. Is always great to honor our veterans, but also to bestow an honor to be a Grand Marshal as an extra event. Badge of honor, so to speak, and we look forward to him and his comments on that day. So please get out your family and line along the parade route. Hopefully we will not have a rain date, but it is, we're not even going to talk about it. No rain.
No rain.
Also had this past Saturday a Unico bench dedication ceremony I was privileged to be at on the Hillsborough chapter. Unico was chartered on November 20th of 2009. Andrew Pantano was a charter member through the years, and his desire to help our community was evident through his continued generosity. Andrew was a blessing and inspiration to all of us, and he is missed greatly to all his friends and family. He was a past owner of Culinary Creations, if you're not sure who he was. To honor the memory of Andrew, the Unico Hillsborough chapter donated a new bench to be used at the Italian Bocce Court at Ann Van Park and dedicated the bench this past Saturday, honoring Andrew Pantano. At the ceremony was Hillsborough Unico President Nathan Santamarita, myself, Committeeman and Unico member, Committeeman Frank Delcor, Township Administrator and Unico member Anthony Ferreira, as well as other members of Unico and the bocce teams, along with Andrew's wife, Joanne, and his family. It's a great honor to, as a small business owner in this town, that a man that did a lot for actually during COVID, feeding families that nobody even knew. I've heard that he was sending meals to people that nobody knew about and shut-ins. So he was a great man and very giving, and did it without asking for recognition, and he will be missed. We will continue as a reminder that Hillsborough Township has joined mayors across the country in encouraging residents to take the Wayland Foundation's National Mayor's Challenge of Water Conservation. To take the challenge, please visit sustainablehillsborough.com to participate in the new Wayland My Volunteer Water Project. As always, you can stay connected with all events and more via the Wednesday e-newsletter. Be sure to follow and like the official Hillsborough Township Facebook page and Twitter. TV29 and Hillsborough YouTube channel showcase our meetings and the Hillsborough Good Life episodes. And as always, Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. So that's all I have as far as our announcements. We do have some proclamations and presentations to do today. So I'll come down and ask you to come up. We'll do a presentation. And then I would ask all the people to wait to the very end, and we will give an opportunity for you to leave the meeting if you so choose. So I will come down and we'll start with our first one, which will be Mr. Robert Fenster, National Teachers Hall of Fame. Teachers are never afraid to talk to a mic, so this should be easy. Oh, that's not you. Oh,
no.
Where are we?
That's a good setup, man.
I like that. That's you. All right, you can hold it. And there we go. Went over to the center. Robert Fenster, a teacher at Hillsborough High School, has the honor of being inducted in the National Teachers Hall of Fame. 5 career teachers from across the country are inducted each year. Robert Fenster has taught social studies at Hillsborough High School for 28 years, including U.S. History Honors, AP American Government. He advises Mock Trial, Model Congress, Model United Nations, Amnesty International, and the Podcasting Club, and serves on the Somerville Township Recreation Committee. Robert Fenster received numerous awards, including the 2021 Paul A. Gagnon Prize from the National Council for History Education and the 2019 Secondary Education Teacher of the Year Award from the New Jersey Council for Social Studies. He serves on the National Constitution Center's Teacher Advisory Panel and created the multi-platform event Shelter from the Storm, which raised over $600,000 in the past 5 years. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the Hillsborough Township Committee, congratulate Robert Fenster for being inducted into National Teachers Hall of Fame, and we thank him for all his work and dedication to the students of Hillsborough High School. Congratulations.
For our first song, thank you so much to the Township Committee and to we're going to hear from see the mock trial team in a little bit. Some of my students are here. Some of my former students are here, also being honored, and this was just a humbling experience to be given this award. Teachers don't usually get recognized in this way, but it is. It's been my privilege to serve the Hillsborough community for their press release said 28. It's 29. I'm 1 year closer to that longevity step. But thank you so much. I appreciate this honor. Oh, sorry. Thank you again.
I did not.
A little older for that
You
one.
know, he was teaching there.
He was teaching, didn't have him? All right, so we'll start here at the end then.
Sorry. It's okay.
I'm going from left to right. Marisa Narola? Oh, it's MJ, me. Marisa Narola opened the Hillsborough Montgomery location of Code Ninjas in 2019. Children learn the code by building their own video games, and in the process, gain problem-solving, critical thinking, and STEM skills. Marisa Narola was presented with the Cultural Advancement Award at the 2021 Code Ninjas International Conference for her efforts in her community and across the franchise. Code Ninjas Hillsborough Montgomery was the first place runner-up in the Best of the Best contest for Best Summer Camp and the Best Education Center for 2021. Congratulations. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, further commend Marisa Narola for being awarded the Cultural Advancement Award, and we thank her for all her work and dedication to Hillsborough's youth. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I was reading today in a Forbes article that empathy is the single largest, greatest skill that they're looking for in leadership skills today. And I've always tried to use that in both my business and my scouting, volunteerism, and in my community. I think that if we're kind and we show empathy and we work hard, that we can change the world just a little bit at a time. And I try and instill that in my students and staff as well. So I'm very proud of all of them, and it takes a village. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you.
Mira? Look at the camera. Mira Desai, an instructional aide, has the honor of being named as Woods Road Elementary School Governor's Educational Service Professional of the Year for 2021-2022. Mira Desai has been a member of the Hillsborough School District faculty for 9 years and works in the preschool program with children who are learning and physical disabilities. Maria Desai is currently working with children with autism. Ms. Desai has volunteered at life skills presentations, the art show, book fair, talent show, and with Hope for Mental Health. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, further commend Mira Desai for being recognized as Woods Road's Elementary School Educational Services Professional of the Year, and we thank her for her work and dedication to Hillsborough's youth. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Lapani and Township Committee for giving me this award. It feels great to be recognized for the passion for this work. I love working with my kids, and making impact on their lives is the biggest reward for me, actually. And I share this award with all the wonderful co-workers at Woods Road. Thank you so much for inspiring me. Thank you.
Teresa? In the middle, we get you in trouble. Teresa Palmisano, an instructional aide, has the honor of being named Amsterdam Elementary School Governor's Education Service Professional of the Year for 2021-2022. Teresa Palmisano has been a member of the Hillsborough Schools District faculty for 20 years. She is a classroom assistant in LLDM mild moderate class for first and second grade. Her main responsibility is to oversee the phonological awareness of screening program, which includes drilling students daily and providing weekly progress reports. Teresa Palmisano's main objective is to provide academic and emotional support to each student with patience and compassion. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, further commend Teresa Palmisano for being recognized as Amsterdam's Elementary School Educational Service Professional of the Year. And we thank you for all her work and dedication to Hillsborough's youth. And you mentioned to me that this is your last year, so we are sorry to see you go, but thank you for all that you did for Hillsborough.
I would like to thank you, Mr. Mayor and the Township Committee for this honor. I was beyond excited to receive this because the 20 years that I've been in Amsterdam have been a true pleasure. I've worked with wonderful people and wonderful children, and I am really sorry that it has come to an end. It's the most rewarding job a person can have.
All right, our mock trial team. Who's going to hold paper? Spread out, everybody, one both sides. One side. The 2021-2022 Hillsborough High School mock trial team are the Vincent J. Alperuzzi High School mock trial competition Somerset County champions and won the first round of the regionals. Congratulations. The 2021-2022 Hillsborough High School mock trial team consists of the following students. And I'm going to let you just announce your name. Pass it down.
Aiden Newberger.
Prisha Mitra Thakur.
Afanvi Numfor.
Om Shah.
Richa Shah.
Raj Boprai.
Waibo Potluri. Nicholas Henderson.
Azenwi Numfor.
And of course, our two coaches, we've met Mr. Bob Fenster and Julianne Anderson. The mock trial team practices twice a week, 2 to 3 hours a day, develops legal arguments in the form of direct and cross-examinations and opening and closing statements, practicing making and responding to objections, and hones public speaking skills and the ability to think on their feet. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee, do hereby commend the Hillsborough High School mock trial team and their coaches, not only for a successful season, but their hard work, dedication, and commitment to mock trial.
After 4 years of mock trial, I have to say there are very few experiences as a student that are as beneficial and challenging. We have an amazing team and amazing advisors, and we really appreciate your recognition. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations, everybody. Healthy Town to Watch, who's coming up for that? So Hillsborough was given a New Jersey Healthy Town to Watch 2021 for a commitment to wellness. I don't know if you know, we have a mayor's wellness committee that started, I don't know, years ago. And the township and its employees have all jumped on board and have promoted healthiness, both with mental and physical programs that we offer both the residents and our employees. And we are proud to have been recognized for that honor. And we have Lee San Marita and Yasmin. I can never say your last name.
Barante.
Barantes here to receive it. Would you like to say something, Lee?
Thank you very much for giving us the presentation. We continue to work with the employees in the township, and we're looking forward to future events now that we're all opening up and moving on with other things. And we look forward to announcing future endeavors with the public as well and the mayor, like our walk that we usually have in the fall.
Okay. Thank you. So we have a presentation that was brought to our attention by Maddie Lutsky, a softball player with the Hillsborough Travel Softball League. Would that team like to come up here? I think the whole team can come up. Everybody. This is your chance to shine. So we're going to ask Dr. Lauren Lipinski to please come up and join us.
You guys can spread out.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Let's put half over on this side. So this isn't my turn to speak. Actually, I think this is time for this team to speak because it's their recognition. They asked us to be part of it. So I'm going to hand this off to Coach, and she's going to explain why we're here. One of the parents.
I called the township and asked if they would honor Lauren for all she does for us. She, from the time my daughter was little, she's the kind of person my daughter would run up to her after a game and say, can you watch my pitching form and give me some advice? And you'd always stay on the field for so long after the game and always be willing to help out. And then you noticed how many girls love softball in our town. And you called the town and asked them to start fall ball because so many girls have such a passion for softball. And then starting the travel softball league in our town. And you're just such an incredible role model to all of our girls and all that we just really appreciate everything that you've done for, I think you could see from the turnout here how much that we really appreciate everything you do for us and you. Thank you for the township for acknowledging our appreciation to Dr. Lipinski.
So I wasn't really sure. I just received an email to come today, so I had no clue that all you ladies were going to be here, and I really appreciate it, especially from some people who know me. I've had a tough couple years medically. So I wrote something because I wanted to make sure everyone got the recognition because this wasn't a one-man, one-woman show. And thank you for adding softball to your post as well. But I would first like to thank you ladies, everyone involved, all the parents who came, Mayor Lapani and the Township Committee for this recognition. I'm incredibly honored, but I'd like to give a little history to make sure that the people who helped are recognized as well. In the summer of 2019, I approached the Hillsborough Parks and Rec Department to consider adding a fall softball league in addition to the regular spring season. Mr. Wagner, Russ, and Griffin agreed and made it happen after I found the interest and helped with some of the legwork. It ended up being a huge success and is still a program that is active today. In the summer of 2020, I discussed adding a travel softball team to the Hillsborough Baseball League with the past president, Chris Porter. We began with one team. The head coach, Bobby Sika, my husband, Matt, and I worked very hard to make that happen. Now the HBL has a softball board member, Chris Antonelli, and 4 travel softball teams. Because there was not a freshman softball team in 2021 or this year, the first time in over 36 years, we knew something had to be done. The middle school had 12 girls try out last year and had 36 this past year. So we know we're moving in the right direction. Some other people that I would like to thank, the Hillsborough High School varsity coaches, Coach Ione and Coach Lil, who were my personal softball coaches as well. Coach Whiter, Pitch with Rich, the famous, and Katie for volunteering their time, expertise, and guidance. Rich Capizano for coaching both the 10U and 12U teams, Jim Bleemer, Melissa Fuller, and Garrett Goldsack for coaching the 10U teams and the countless parent volunteers that helped. John Shimp, who is the current president of the HBL, and the rest of the HBL board for their support. And finally, a very special thank you to my husband who supports me in all of my softball endeavors. And to my daughter, get over here please, who is the reason why this is all happening in the first place. I'm very proud of you. I love you so much, and I love you ladies so much. Thank you.
Take a couple steps forward. A couple steps forward, girls. In the front. You're up. Come forward a little bit. There you go. Chin. Okay, good. Now you can stop.
Turn sideways.
Come on, we did it. Thank you.
Assemblyman Fryman. And and Samantha Ball.
I'm Sam.
Congratulations. Good evening, everyone. Recently in my office, I had a chance where one of the Girl Scout troops came and they were educating us on what they were doing in Manville to help people convert away from the single-use plastic bags to the reusables. At the time, they educated me, and I didn't realize this, there are some countries in Europe that the average number of single-use bags they use per year is 4 per year. And you think about what we do when we go into ShopRite, we see that in a single visit. And so converting towards the reusable is very, very important to our environment overall. I applaud the Hillsborough Township Committee for utilizing this as a community activity. And I congratulate you, Sam, on winning the design. And I'm very much looking forward to having those in my trunk as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Bryson. So we have a proclamation.
So here is the Assembly citation. It is commendations and praise are extended to Samantha Ball by the citizens of the 16th New Jersey Legislative District for bringing honor and pride to our family and by winning the Hillsborough Township Reusable Shopping Bag Design Contest.
Thank you to the committee and to Mayor Lapani and Assemblyman Fryman. This is a great opportunity to, spread awareness about the plastic bag ban May 4th. And also thank you to administration. I know that a lot of people work behind the scenes to make sure that this event and this contest went over well. And it was great. I had a really good time designing it. So thank you.
Yeah. Maybe she should hold it back. Very nice.
So that's all we have for right now. So we'll take a brief 5-minute break for those who have to go home and do homework. Please go, and thank you all for coming, but you're more than welcome to stay if you'd like.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so we're back. Thank you and congratulations to all those who received proclamations and awards, and to Senator Fryman for coming in this evening to help us with the bag presentation to Samantha Ball. We have no new business at this time, so we move on to the next on our agenda. As always, is public comment on new business and matters not on today's agenda. So we just reiterate it's on something that is not on the agenda for this evening. So Ms. Bork, can you please read the statement regarding public comment?
The Township Committee welcomes input from the public. Please state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. You will be given 1 3-minute allotment for your comments. Please understand that this public forum is not structured as question and answer session. Comments are to be addressed to the mayor. Again, please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Okay, take our first one. Coming up, remember, state your name and address for the record.
Hello.
Raise that up a little bit. Go ahead, Didier.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
twist it. There you go.
Hello, Didier Jimenez, Didier Jimenez, 348 Gemini Drive, Hillsborough, New Jersey. I think I got it.
Good.
Hello, everybody. Mayor. First of all, I want to say it out loud in the sense of being aware that I stand in solidarity with the Claremont community in Hillsborough with the pursuit of adequate well water testing. I watched the meeting 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that came to mind was the fact that we have to be prudent and careful about THC because of children and safety. We also need to be prudent and careful about forever chemicals that might come in the drinking water that children also drink. Chemical fertilizers in golf courses can cause a lot of issues because they have lead, mercury, uranium, which could give negative impacts on kidneys, liver, cause cancer, and a whole bunch of issues. This is not just a Hillsborough issue. This is happening everywhere across the country. There are dozens of articles about this type of environmental mismanagement. Golf courses are notorious for doing this, for polluting the local water, and it looks like the gentleman did a lot of hard work to do his research. And from what it seems and what he's talking about with a lot of passion, and he did his homework, is that they supposed to get the water tested, and they figured this out back in 1994. I guess they had the 2020 hindsight to understand the real danger of bodies of water being contaminated, which depend on the general public for them to drink from. Now, Toll Brothers, we could go on forever. I could play the card, a billionaire, it's a billionaire corporation owned by a billionaire who have paid over $200 million to the EPA for violating the Clean Water Act. Multiple times they have settled with the Department of Justice for violating the Clean Water Act, and also in Bergen County, arsenic was found in the riverway off a Toll Brothers. Anyways, they have enough money to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. Nobody goes to jail, and it's the cost of doing business because they're still in business. The gentleman is still a billionaire. Ironically enough, he invests money in research for cancer when his company has been causing a lot of issues. Long story short, I was really hoping for you guys to be empathetic about the passion that he brought. I don't care if the guy is Republican, Democrat, or centrist. I don't care. You could see in his voice that he was really passionate about it. I know that most of you folks, committee people, have been here a very short time, and it's not during your time, but please, you could change the vibe, you could change the mood. I'm not here to hammer you. You listen to that guy. I was passionate for 2 weeks to come and speak out because this has happened before. And a lot of people say, I can't believe it happened in my backyard. Let's help this guy out. Thank you.
Thank you, Didier.
Meryl Bisberg, 4 Hickory Hill Road, Hillsborough. I know someone, or actually two, who applied for affordable housing at Hillsborough Village last July, when the lottery took place for the first new construction of affordable housing here in a long time. They passed the lottery, signed lease agreements for November 2021 occupancy. Indeed, Hillsborough Village did start occupying in November of last year, but with overwhelmingly market rate clients. It's been over 5 months since that date, yet they have only attained occupancy for about half of the affordable housing clients. The remaining affordable housing clients, mostly in buildings 1, 2, and 3 in the front along 206, have at least a month, perhaps 2, 3, or 4, until they will be granted occupancy. Meanwhile, the common amenities were completed back in February, while the majority of the affordable housing clients could still not occupy. So many dates have been missed that these people planning on moving in cannot give notice to their current landlord for fear there will be additional delays and they won't get their security deposits back from their current landlord, or they'll be scheduling movers, but they'll not be able to get into the new apartment when the stuff is on the truck. Buildings 2 and 3 alone have 20 very low and low affordable housing units, 10 in each building. Right now, these are the third to last and second to last on the schedule. If all units of Building 1 are implemented before Building 2 and 3, which is what is currently scheduled, the market rate units will be 75% completed, while the affordable housing units will still only be at 50%. This is unacceptable, especially with the small number of affordable units, and against the phasing specified in Section 188-126.1 of Ordinance 2021-06 that you passed last year to update Hillsborough's affordable housing and its land use law. It was only when I brought it to the attention of the Affordable Housing Administrative Agent, CME, whose job it is to approve affordable housing applications and assign units, that they even bothered to ask Larkin for a copy of the schedule, and they still argued that it did not violate phasing, even though it was clear they were building out almost half of the affordable housing units last. Also, neither the assistant planner and fair share housing liaison of record for Hillsborough, nor the planning office department head have expressed any willingness to rephase to comply with the ordinance, or get firm dates from Larkin on the affordable housing or any of the other units, or oversee the communication from Larkin to the affordable housing tenants, or correct any of the dates or terms in the lease agreements that these people were forced to sign back in July last year in order to reserve a unit. If this is how we are going to treat affordable housing renters in Hillsborough Village, which actually does have at least some affordable housing units in each building and is inclusionary, how can we possibly let Glenjerry M&M build 360 market rate homes for the sake of 80 affordable apartments? I fear the apartments will never get built, while the homes will sprawl a huge piece of property that will just increase flooding in the area. Hillsborough Village was given many zoning exceptions because they were building inclusionary housing. So let's make sure that the people who are supposed to be included aren't actually shut out. We need to follow our own ordinance that contains the guideposts to make sure that this isn't just a boondoggle for the developers, but that our affordable housing obligation is truly met. After all, the need is great, even among people who currently reside or are displaced in our own community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could respond to that, if you don't mind. So the last time I checked, Ms. Bisberg is not an employee of the township, so it is amazing that she has that data, which is not true. So I have been in constant contact with Mr. Gardner, as well as the planning department and as well as the building department. And they are a few units off, not 75%. That's completely false.
I didn't
They
say
have-
it was 75% off.
You did. So they are currently working with supply chain issues. We're working on Saturdays to get everybody in as quickly as we possibly can. And again, there's 13 buildings with inspections and trying to work as much as we can. So on the phone with Mr. Gardner 3 times already this week, Mr. Fiedler, Mr. Maskey, because it's critical for us and me to make sure that we get those folks in those houses as safely as we can, as soon as we can. But to indicate that we're putting only market rates in there is not fair. So we are only a few units off, and I've made Mr. Gardner aware that we are too disappointed as well, that if we're telling people they're going to be moving in and they're not, that's not how we can conduct business in town. So he's aware of that, and between Mr. Gardner, Mr. Fiedler, and Mr. Maskey, and myself, we're trying to get people in as safely, as quickly as we possibly can, and we've been working hard the past 2 months to try to do this. So 75% is not true. Are we exactly where it is 50-50? We're not, but as of this meeting, we're only a few off. And we are hopeful that project is complete as it can be by June. So we've been working extra time, overtime, and weekends to try to get people in.
No.
Next.
I'm just glad that that might be the first conversation we've ever had where usually we have people coming up telling us to stop building. Now we've got an opportunity to, people asking us to make sure we're getting building done quicker. So I think maybe we're turning the corner.
Okay, Maria?
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 32155, Champlain Road. I brought some handouts that I would like to give to the governing body so that you know what I'm talking about. Can I give this or should I do it?
You give it to Pam.
You might want to start.
I think you might want to start because your time is running, so.
No, I don't have enough, I'm sorry, for Mr. Ferrer, because I want.
Oh, that's okay, no problem.
Attorney.
We'll share.
I'll share with Mr. Delcourt.
All right,
Share.
It's nice when we share. My concern is in regard to Hillsborough Township liquor license number 1810-32-011-003. This is the liquor license that is being used at 140 Falcon Road. That's the Polish Falcon Camp. So the number for this liquor license has been 181032011-003 for numerous years. And then recently, I have a copy of the record showing in 2000, I think I have a copy there for you, 2018-19 is showing 003. And then in 2021, there's a resolution which is showing that the license number is now 004 at the end. So I had submitted a request for government records through the Open Public Records Act to find out why that number was changed. And the response that I received is that the record was authorized for disposal pursuant to the New Jersey State Records Management Services. So what's showing on this record is that the record was from 2010 to 2015, which makes no sense whatsoever in response to my request. What I want to know is how come the license number was changed from 003 to 004. And there's a resolution here showing that the Polish Falcon Camp on Falcon Road, the license number is 004, and the licensee has changed to Polish Falcons of America Corporation, and it used to be Polish Falcons of America Incorporated. Polish Falcons of America Corporation is headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the address here is showing 140 Falcon Road. And the records from the police department who do investigations of the licensee, their records have a discrepancy which shows on some things 003, on some things 004, where the record from Trenton shows that the license number is 003. So Hillsborough needs to find out what's going on with this discrepancy because the Polish Falcons of America District 1 in Hillsborough has a legally binding agreement in regard to Hillsborough Township's liquor license 1810-32-011-003. So I would appreciate it if this would be investigated and the correct number is provided. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. We have motion.
You have one allotment.
We have motion to move on to open ordinance. Authorizing accepting the deed of dedication of widening improvement of Falcon Road, Hillsborough Township, Somerset County. Has been reviewed and found acceptable by the Township Attorney. Has reviewed widening of Falcon Road. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2022-06.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And so discussion from the dais. And discussion from the floor. Roll call.
questions?
Sure. On this ordinance? Mhm.
Yep.
Maria Janisik, 720 East Breck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. So this is showing that it was an application from, was it 2003? And the application, the board's approval was memorialized in 2004, and now we're talking about widening that road in 2022. How did it wind up that there's so many residential units, 698 residential units there on that property? Was that all part of application that's shown in this ordinance? Application number 03-PB-12-GDP. Was that all part of that one application?
From 2003, yes.
The project is completely different than what it originally was, because if you recall, back in, I think it was like 2011 or 2010, even though this was approved, supposed to be completely an age-restricted development, the state of New Jersey passed a law saying that as long as you didn't start developing the property, it could be switched during the economic downturn. It was 2008, actually, something called the Sarlo. They called it the Sarlo law, which is unfairly put to him. But basically it said as long as it wasn't shovel ready, you could switch the project from being just age restricted to being applied to everyone. And anyone can move in there. And Hillsborough is very unique because that project is now semi-age restricted. In the back, they have the community that's being built in the back. And then the rest of it is the townhomes and condos and apartments that you see not only on Falcon, but also you can see from 206 across from United Rental or in that general area. So that's why the project took so long, period.
So the original application was for
I think it was completely age restricted back in 2003 when it was approved.
And in what year was that Sarlo?
I want to say it was 2008. It was during the economic downturn when the bubble burst for real estate.
Right.
So somewhere around then. So I please don't quote me on 2008 when the law was passed, but it was around that time where as long as your project had not already been started, you could switch without having to reapply to the planning board. And of course, then came all the rules and laws regarding affordable housing, and they've been back before the planning board numerous times since anyway.
Yeah, but this whole easement is basically part of the application was to do improvements to Falcon Road, which is widening and putting a traffic light down at the end of Falcon Road, which is still the responsibility of the board, and this has to do with the easements required to do the widening.
I understand what, as far as the widening, I understand as far as this deed of dedication, but I don't understand is how 698 residential units showed up there on that property. And is this your, Committeeman Thompson, you're saying that this was part of affordable housing at some point?
This whole project is part of affordable housing. This was part of the agreement, if you want to go all the way back, that back in the late 90s, when the sheep farm was sold to be turned into Lowe's and Kohl's, this was all part of it. This is all part of that whole development that was done. This is all part of those agreements that were agreed to back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
As part of affordable housing?
Correct.
Yeah,
Lowe's-
but not the current phase, the prior iterations. So affordable housing is not just what we're doing right now. We've been living with this for 15 years, at least at the time that I've been on the committee, and before that. So
the same developer was allowed to continue developing? Because how many phases actually are there of this development?
It's done now. Well, they have,
Yeah,
they're doing
at least
last
four.
part of the phase in the back is, I think, is all that's left.
I'm sorry.
The last part of the phase in the age-restricted areas left to do.
And the bill was signed into law on July 2nd, 2009.
2009?
2009, yes, I was off.
So this was approved, is a memorializing resolution that approved it in 2004, but it wasn't shovel-ready for 5 years? Nothing was done for 5 years until that law was passed, and then they were able to put in 698 units?
The law literally was permitting conversion of age-restricted housing units to non-age restricting housing units and modifies laws concerning affordable housing. That is the title of the
What
law.
I'm saying is, how much time does a developer have to start, just once he receives
Jessica,
approval to
if you
start?
really
work?
want to, I mean, we're talking about stuff that happened now back in 2004 as to why the developer didn't start breaking ground on that. I mean, I'm not sure what you expect us
Because my
to
question-
say on that at this point. I mean, honestly.
Because my question is, again, how did 600, that's like a little village over
But
there.
it's not
And
that
it-
they
and it
haven't been
continues,
approved.
and
it's
it
that
continues.
All of those 698 have been approved over time. So
They're
you're
built.
making it sound
The
as though
question is
they
how-
just popped up and no one had.
And it was the same developer that just kept building and building and building and building?
In different
On
phases.
approval after approval, yes.
The
As
same
part of
developer
as
for
part of the
everything.
Affordable housing plan, correct?
And as part of that, also, there was numerous permit extension acts that was sponsored by the state of New Jersey. Bipartisan went through under John Corzine, under Chris Christie, that extended a lot of these laws as well, because again, there was an economic downturn that happened in the middle.
So here it says that the developer of the project has acquired the following deed of dedication for a portion of block 141, lot 15, and that's 0.09 acres. Are there going to be other properties that also are going to be providing property to widen Falcon Road?
Yes,
So this is going to go one.
as they're received.
Have there been any before? Or is this the first one?
Yes, you were here, as a matter of fact, asking the same questions last time we
Yeah.
had this.
Yeah, we've had, I think, 2 or 3 already.
You brought up similar. We
I'm
had,
sorry,
we had,
I'm
we had,
sorry.
we had.
You
an-
work with this, sir. I don't. So you're saying you were here if you remember. I don't remember. That's why I'm asking.
Listen, I'm not just saying, I'm just refreshing your recollection, if in case you don't recall, there was one in the past, you were here, and you had questions on it.
I think you
There
asked
was-
about it, yeah.
There was just one.
There was more than one. But just lest any members of the public are confused, we're getting off topic. Bottom line is, general overview, we have a 2003 approval. As part of that whole general development approval back in 2003, the developer was required to widen Falcon Road, and the widening of Falcon Road does require the developer to acquire certain easement rights from various homeowners along Falcon Road. And as you can see, we're just talking about slivers of land. In this particular case, we're talking about 0.09 acres of land. So it's just a sliver of land along the frontage. The developer has acquired that from the homeowner. Once all these are acquired and approved by the township, then we can get to the business of widening Falcon Road as was contemplated all the way back in 2003.
Okay. So as it states in this ordinance, whereas the approval of the board requires the developer to widen and improve Falcon Road, and that was in 2004. Why wasn't that done?
It hasn't been done yet because all that stuff hasn't been done. And part of the road did not have to be done until a certain department, a certain amount of the housing was done. So he allows to build the project, and then before he gets finished, he has to get the road and do the wiring.
And also, we wanted them to be stopped bringing large trucks up and down that
Right,
road that
you
would
don't want-
destroy the road
Right.
prior to them having to
There
repave
are
it again. Okay, never mind.
698 residential units, and there was no need from 2004 to the present to widen that road? Is that being widened now because you're planning on putting another development across the street?
No, it has not. It was done back in 2003, Ms. Janusik. It's been agreed already.
It what?
It was agreed on in 2003. You just said it
In
yourself.
2004.
It was
they got
agreed to do it.
Why wasn't it done?
I just told you.
All these years, 698 units, you've got traffic, everything, and that was not done.
Approval.
Part of the
Part of the
reason,
approval, it didn't say it had to be done in 2005. It said it had to be done as part of this overall agreement. And we have gone through various approvals on this development as a result of all the planning that we've had to do from an affordable housing standpoint. And frankly, it makes no sense to do that and complete and force the developer to go spend time acquiring those properties at a time when we're trying to get the affordable housing bill. That will be done. It's part of the approval. You want to quibble about the timing, that is certainly your prerogative. But there was no requirement that said it had to be done a year after the approval. So I'm not sure what you're.
Okay, I'm not
If you have
saying a
a
year, I'm not
disagreement with
saying
it,
2,
that's your
I'm
prerogative.
not saying 5. 10 years, when you've got all of this
You're
over there?
You're
and
welcome
I-
to have that
and
opinion.
So my question is, and you're saying no, that this is not being done now because you're going to be putting another huge residential development across the street.
It has nothing to do with it.
Jumping the shark as you always do. That's not true.
They don't put the road in until after the construction was done, because you don't want all those trucks coming over a new road and destroying the road. So this way, the point is, when the road is finished, the majority of the construction is over, which eliminates the driving of the trucks over the nice new road. Okay, to make it simple?
And
Yeah.
to answer the specific question directly, this was in the 2003 approval. So your insinuation that it's related to something current is totally off base. It's in the 2003 approval.
I
The
understand.
requirement.
So why wasn't it done for the last, how many years?
We just told you.
Okay.
Just
When
told you.
you've got all these houses there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's done for the other development. Thank you.
You have that, we noted.
Any other questions or comments? Motion, close and roll call, please.
So I'm clear, it's a motion to close and adopt.
And adopt, yep.
I'll make that
Oh,
motion
six.
if we haven't
Thank you.
already.
Second.
Thank you. Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Erickson?
Absolutely.
Mayor LaPani?
Yes.
Thank you.
2022-07, ordinance authorizing public auction of block 185, lot 105, known as the Weston Road landfill. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2022-07?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. And
Second.
Second, thank you. All in favor? I guess I'm opposed. So is there any discussion from the dais? Any discussions from the floor?
Maria Janusik. So this property is owned by the township?
Yes.
This has been owned by the township for a long time, or was this purchased recently by the township?
Mayor,
Yes, you may.
I can give a little bit of history. The township owned this property. This goes back decades. The township owned this property, and I guess when Hillsborough was vacant out here, this particular property, a portion of it was used as a landfill. Some solid waste was placed there. The township, decades ago, had sold this property to the Costello Family Trust. And the Costello Family Trust bought the property, including this particular 4.9 acre parcel, nobody knowing, the township at the time not knowing, and neither the Costello family knowing that there was this 4.9 acre portion of the property that previously somebody had used for a landfill, and it was covered over. They went out there at a point in time and they started digging, and they realized, oh my God, there's some stuff buried here. At which point in time there was litigation against the township. Again, this dates well over a decade ago. And the litigation was solved by the township taking back, they delineated the area where the landfill was, and the township took that land back and was involved in a closure process. And now at this point in time, the township has decided to, of course, with this resolution, with this ordinance, we're looking to actually get somebody to buy the property and to close it in accordance with the requirements.
Okay, let me just ask some questions to understand what you said. That property had been owned by Hillsborough, and it was sold to Costello, who was it? Costello
Family Trust.
Costello family. It was sold to them. How long did they own that property?
They still own it.
I don't know exactly, but it's well over a decade they've owned that property.
They still own the other part of it.
They still own, yes, they still own the remainder that's surrounding that area.
And
yes.
no one knew that had been used as a landfill, that this was essentially contaminated now?
I wouldn't use the word contaminated. I would use a landfill. That it needs to be closed.
That needs to be properly remediated and closed?
Not remediated.
Not remediated. It's in the solid, it's in the
Doesn't need
DEP solid
remediation.
waste program. It just needs to be closed.
There's a certain procedure for closing a landfill?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, so whose responsibility is that now?
Hopefully,
to-
whoever
hopefully-
bid, hopefully, somebody will bid for this property. That's what we're looking to do. We're setting it out to bid. Hopefully, somebody will have a use for this property. They'll bid for the property, and they'll agree to do it. And that's what the ordinance says.
So is that a contingency on this, that whoever buys this is going to properly?
Yes.
Properly, in accordance with New Jersey law, close the landfill?
Yes.
And how much, I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, how much has this property been, the value of this property been assessed?
We have no use for it.
Excuse me?
The bid process isn't contingent upon our appraisal of it. It will be based upon bid and the cost of someone that needs to do the closure work. So I'm sure we have an assessment on the books. I don't know what that is. But we
There's no minimum requirement for the bid.
It's
No
pub-
minimum requirement.
Well, yes and no. There's no minimum required, but there is a minimum required in that they're responsible for
Yes, the closure.
any closure. They're responsible for all the costs associated with the closure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, may I have a motion to close and adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Burning,
Yes.
Mayor Alcorn,
Yes.
Mayor Thompson,
Yes.
Mayor Erickson. Yes. Mayor LaPlante.
Yes. We have an introduction of new ordinances. We have one today, 2022-08, ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough authorizing execution and delivery of an amended to a lease purchase agreement dated as of June 1st, 2018, with the Somerset County Improvement Authority. Further consideration and public hearing will be held on May 10th, 2022. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved, Mayor.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Burning,
Yes.
Mayor Alcorn,
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Erickson.
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante.
Yes. Now move on to our consent agenda, items numbers 1 through 12. Do I have anyone wishing to take any of these resolutions separately? Okay, seeing none. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second, Mayor.
Okay, any comments from the dais? Mr. Farrar?
I just wanted to, on resolution number 11, just wanted to welcome Karina Ammerman. Myself, Ms. Borak, interviewed her as part of the floater position. As I've said up here for many years, very successful program. Adding her to the list and with her background, I think be extremely successful. And again, when there's a position open, have the appropriate training to fill a position here in town. So welcome aboard.
Thank you. Anyone?
Mayor, I'd like to take resolution number 6, the hiring of 4 police officers for Hillsborough Township Police Department. I just would like to welcome Officer Holisek, Officer Lischek, Officer Ramos, and Officer Toto to Hillsborough Police Department. I wish them a long, safe, and rewarding career with Hillsborough. So glad to have them.
Thank you. I get to swear them in tomorrow. Anyone else? Okay. Any comments from the floor? Okay. All right. Just remember, state your name and address. Thank you.
Good evening, Reverend Rod Williams, 101 Everett Close. And in regard to the consent agreement on number 6, let me first begin by saying that I recognize the enormity of the task that police have. And I also recognize that that means that they also have an enormous responsibility to the public. And so I'm interested in finding out, one, how you came about. Is this for replacement? Are these for additional? And if it is indeed for additional, what went into the thinking behind adding 4 new officers? And if it were 4 who were replacing, certainly there needs to be some concern regarding the fact that across the country there's been a focus on the idea that in some municipalities, as much as half of the calls that police are responding to are either domestic calls or calls involving mental health concerns. And so is there thought process in our police department that focuses on making sure that either we have thought about bringing in healthcare professionals, mental health care professionals, or social workers, as opposed to potentially just adding more police to the process? Or is there a process by which the police are getting more training around mental health and social issues? Because if it's not either one of those 2 solutions, then we stand to find ourselves in those situations where, as the old saying goes, if the only tool you have is a hammer, then you start to see every problem as a nail. And so, as again, I want to repeat, we recognize the enormity of the responsibility that the police have, and we support the fact that they have such a tremendous job. But we also want to make sure that they have every tool that is necessary for them to respond accordingly to situations that may fall outside the purview of what we've commonly and more traditionally thought of as simple police matters. Thank you.
Mayor, you mind if, real quick, Reverend, thank you. A couple things. One, these are backfilling retirements. We've had a bunch of retirements in the police department. I think Deputy Mayor Janine Erickson and I interviewed, I think, 10 officers, potential officers. About a month ago, we made offers to, I think, every single one of them. Maybe it was just 9. It was 9 out of those 10. And I think we're going to get probably 8 of them, but we're just waiting for some to complete the academy. Obviously, the academy is stressing everything that you're speaking of right now, which is very important. Lieutenant Novak, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything about some of the training that we do have going on right now. I know there is numerous training that is required as part of our police department. If not, Reverend, we can get you some additional background information on that. But it is questions that did come up numerous times during our interview process. We did ask every single one of the potential applicants how they would handle certain situations because, as you mentioned, this is a very turbulent time regarding police departments in America. And we certainly know that. We're watching what's happening in Bridgewater, where they're trying a pilot program right now. And Somerset County is also doing a pilot program. We're watching very closely to see the results of that, to see what can be implemented here in Hillsborough. So, but our chief is acutely aware of everything you're mentioning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could mention one thing as well, just the chief and I just worked on, all the officers were just trained 2 weeks ago with the special needs community, especially those on the autism spectrum. And we'll be releasing a new procedure for registry as well. So when the officers do come to that house with a child with special needs, and we can also look at extending it, that the folks, the police department knows when they go into that house who they're responding to. We did this many years ago with a change in system. So we're working with all those type of issues. So when an officer does come on scene, that they're aware of everything they're potentially walking into. So we jumped the gun a little bit. I know the chief, we're working on that to announce and probably in the May meeting. So we'll talk about multiple trainings and different ways that when the officers do respond, they know what they're responding to, and we'll look for the residents' help as well with that.
Great.
Just
Thank you.
2 weeks ago, but just would have a significant training.
Thank you.
One quick follow-up question.
Sure.
As I mentioned before, we understand the changing of demographics in Hillsborough. So was there any process that was focused on addressing diversity within the police ranks?
So I don't want you to quote me here because I'm not sure what everyone's background is, but I believe at least 2 out of maybe this 4, or it's 2 out of the 6 are minorities. I'm not sure exactly everyone who's being hired tonight, if those were part of the 2. So I just want to be clear. I'm not 100%, but we can check with that and get back to you. Or Lieutenant Novak, who did the interviews, you can ask him right now because he did the background interviews, I believe, on all 9 of them as well.
You need to come. I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
I can answer some of those questions. So I serve as a hiring coordinator. So I screened all the applicants as they submitted applications, and I was on the interview panel who interviewed everybody who came in. I can tell you, as part of our recruiting, we sent information to Noble, the Asian American Law Enforcement Officers Association, female Law Enforcement Association, and there was one other that escapes me right now. The 4 that are getting sworn in tomorrow, 3 are white males, 1 is a Hispanic female.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else regarding the consent agenda? Okay.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. Regarding consent 1, resolution authorizing the transfer of earned amounts from the subdivision and site plan engineering trust accounts to the treasurer's account. And I know I've asked regarding this type of resolution before, but it says in the first paragraph that the assistant township engineer indicates inspections and engineering work have been completed for the indicated projects and recommends funds be transferred. What type of work is this? What is being inspected? Is this in increments of work, and then as each task or project is completed, that you're doing transfers? I don't understand, how does this transferring of the funds work?
You just answered your question, yes. As certain milestones or checklists are accumulated in the inspection process, then that triggers the release of escrow funds.
So then if I were to submit an Oprah request, I could get a record of what specific project had been completed that then initiated this transfer of funds?
I would imagine so, yes.
Okay. Consent resolution number 9. And this is the resolution authorizing renewal nunc pro tunc of Hillsborough Group LLC liquor license 181032002-008 for the 2020-2021 license term. So what does this actually mean? That this is a renewal for a prior. What does this nunc pro tunc mean?
It's basically approving something retroactive. Every year, the liquor license needs to be renewed. It needs to be renewed on or before June 30th of every year. In 2020 and 2021, this particular license holder did not file the applicable documents to renew. Therefore, they had to apply to the director of the Division of Alcohol and Beverages to get a special ruling to allow them to renew now. And they did that. They received the special ruling, and we are now approving their renewal nunc pro tunc.
Nunc pro tunc.
Retroactively.
Okay. Where is this liquor license held?
I don't know the name.
It's a
of this.
pocket license, meaning it is not active at the moment.
It's a pocket.
Correct.
Pocket license, okay. Now, is the holder of this, the licensee is Hillsborough Group LLC. But it says that the Hillsborough Township Police Department conducted an investigation of the licensee. So there are specific individuals that are investigated by the police department from Hillsborough Group LLC.
With any license, during the renewal process, the police department does their due diligence and investigation on the applicants or the individuals who are on the application even for renewal. So this happened back in 2020 to 21 term, yes.
It's not specific to them. It's simply, we have to go through the process of background checks each time we do that. So I don't want to make it seem like they were singled out.
No, I understand, because we're going to go to the next one. So the police report will provide the name of the individuals who were part of this investigation for this liquor license?
I can't speak to what is in their document. I get a summary memo from the chief saying these licenses have been investigated and are, he recommends them for renewal.
So is there a record in the township anywhere that specifies who the persons were, that identifies who these persons were that were investigated for this liquor license?
I can look into that.
Okay,
Probably the
thank you. I
ABC
appreciate
would
it.
have those names, because they're the one that issues the license. We don't issue the license.
I'm sorry, but
The ABC issues the license. We don't issue the license, right? So they would have it, possibly.
but being it's a Hillsborough license, I
Yeah,
would think
I mean, but
that you
still,
have that record.
Well, we can look for it if you like.
I'm not sure that's necessarily public, though.
There are some pieces of it that are redacted for privacy as well.
So then you wouldn't have the names of the individuals who are investigated in regards to that.
We don't issue the license. I
What?
mean, we issue the license, but we don't provide the approval for the license. That comes.
But the Hillsborough Police Department does an investigation of those individuals. So that's what I'm just asking, is there a record, would there be a record from the police department of the
Probably is, but
investigation?
I don't think that's public. Now, I'm not sure you're entitled to that if you want it.
And
You could
is that-
ask.
And that record is sent to Trenton? Is that record, that investigation record report, is that sent to Trenton, to the ABC?
Well, because now everything is online, we don't have the 12-page liquor licenses anymore, so I don't see what the police do and see into the state system. I get their memo, and then I have to go in the system and verify certain information on the non-police side of it, and then the license then is brought before the township committee for renewal.
Okay, because I know, like the Polish Falcon Camp, I saw their renewal application from like 2013, and there was a whole
Yes, back
application.
then, there used to
whole
be a
application.
paid, yes, and then they went electronic.
So there would be knowledge in the township of what records are
It's
sent-
electronic
are
now,
sent,
Maria, so we
even-
don't get paper.
Even though it's
so not-
electronic, it's the same information being provided to ABC from the township. So if there were reports from the police or whatever, that should be something that the township knows about, even though now it's done electronically and maybe you don't have to look at it, but at some point previously, that was all part of the application process. And annual renewal and annual inspection, investigation of the licensees. Okay, consent number 10 is the
I'll
resolution-
answer that for you right away. There was a typo. It was one digit off on the year. It said 2021-2021 for the renewal, and it should have said 2021-2022 for the renewal period. It was, and honestly, no one noticed it. I was on the phone the other day with the ABC, and we were going through something, and they said, oh my goodness, we need to get that fixed. So we're fixing it.
Okay.
One number off, that's why.
Okay. Now here for consent number 10, resolution amending resolution from June, okay. And it is showing Polish Falcons, 140 Falcon Road. The licensee is Polish Falcons of America Corporation. That is incorrect. Polish Falcons of
And
America
we will address that with the
Corporation-
ABC this year during the renewal
sorry,
process.
what?
I will address it this year with the ABC during the renewal process for the 22-23 term.
Because, yeah, I'm a member of the Polish Falcons of America, District 1 in Hillsborough. And this address, 140 Falcon Road, is incorrect for the corporation because their headquarters are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And again, the license number being shown is 004. And this is a discrepancy in the township because, as
You've
I
made that
said,
clear. Thank you.
the last police investigation report showed 003 in something and 004 on another page, while Trenton showed 003. And consent number 4. Is this consent number 4 regarding the ordinance that had a first introduction today?
Yes, and if you recall, they did this last year as well. It is simply, and Ms. Casa provided some information on this, the CFO. It is acknowledgement and disclosure of information relative to that ordinance. We had to do it last year and we're doing it again this year. It is a requirement.
Oh, so there was a resolution about this last,
I
there was
believe so, last year.
there has been only one previous resolution previous to this in regard to that lease agreement?
It was either last year or the year before where it's disclosure saying that the township committee is aware of this, yes.
So this is the second resolution in regard to that?
Yes.
And so pretty much what's this resolution doing in regard to that agreement? It's a lot of
In a nutshell, we're going out to bond.
Doing what?
We're going out to permanent bond for the land that was purchased in 2017,
So-
18. That we have actually hasn't been to the permanent bond status. It was floating and renewals every year. We were allowed to renew every year and paying interest. So we're now just going to actually a permanent bond. We're
So-
going out to bid for that.
Okay, so that ordinance, I think, was in 2017.
Right.
So each year, there was no payment made on other notes, you were just accumulating interest?
I believe we were just, right, we were rolling it.
And so now this ordinance is going to be to issue bonds.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Merrill Bisberg, 4 Hickory Hill Road. Following on the consent number 4, at the introduction tonight to the ordinance, which is related to this consent, I'm not sure exactly how, but I see a lot of the same numbers. It says that the First Amendment to lease purchase agreement, a form of which is on file in the Office of Municipal Clerk. So is the first time we're going to see that at the introduction, and will we even, not the introduction, I'm sorry, at the public hearing? And will that be provided at public hearing? In other words, if this lease purchase is renewed, there's going to be yet another amount beginning in 2022, right? How do we know how much that is?
No, the amount that is there is what we're going out to bond for. So it's really just sending out the note. So it's going to be 19,160,000, but with closing costs, I think it's just over 20 million is the total. 20,230,000.
So that will be the amount?
Yes. And it's supposed to be during a 25-year payout.
I believe 2 years ago it was like 22 million, wasn't it?
We authorized up to.
Pardon?
We authorized up to.
Okay, so this is authorizing up to 20 million? Or
No, this is the actual amount.
This is the actual amount, okay.
Because at the time, we didn't know exactly where the final numbers would be, we authorized up to 22 million because we didn't know what was going to happen with ultimately the final borrowing nor the interest rates that would be. So we wanted to make sure we had adequate room in there, but so that it was up to 22. But these are the final amounts that will be bonded.
Okay, so that information will be supplied for public comment? The details?
It is, yes. Well, this is the amount we're
That's
going
not-
out for, so it's just a matter of receiving the bids for the bonds that we'll get.
Okay. Okay, and I just want to go back to something from earlier. I want,
We're just taking comment on the consent agenda right
I
now.
want Mr. Farrar, I do believe that I should have an opportunity to respond.
You-
And I would like Mr. Farrar to know that I just Friday received an order of implementation from Mr. Massey. And he did have building 1 to be completed before buildings 2 and 3. There's 18 or 19 units. I have the list of units. I'm very familiar with this.
I'm not going to go back and forth and argue with you, but I just had a conversation today with Mr. Gardner and Mr. Maskey and Mr.
Okay.
Fiedler
And I also-
on what the numbers are, so
Okay.
I'm not sure what your point is.
And I
We're
would
trying to get them
also
done as
like
quickly
you
as
to know that
possible.
just on Monday, the 2 very low affordable unit people in building 1 were notified that there was going to be an additional delay. This isn't about keeping the numbers so tight, it's about the fact that people have had 3, 4, 5 delays. And that's really a problem.
And by the way, we're not happy with that either. We want to get people in there as quickly as possible, and we're trying to do whatever we can. But to say that 75% of them, and the numbers are that's not fair. That's not
I
true.
said that if building 1 is implemented first, which is the last information I have about the order of implementation, and Mr. Maskey was very clear that they'll only implement 1 building at a time, which means they take all the market rate with the affordable. If that's implemented first, then they will be at 75%, and we will still be getting 50% for the affordable. That's what I said, okay?
Okay, thank you.
25% is fair. Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for working on expediting this.
Thank you. Any other comments on
Just do
consent?
free-for-all. We can let people talk whenever they like, about whatever they like.
All right, so motion to close and adopt the consent agenda?
So moved, Mayor.
No, I have a motion, I have a second, I just need a roll call.
Roll call, please.
We're done.
Roll call.
Committeeman Britting.
Yes.
Oh dear, my pen broke. Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson.
Yes, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Erickson. Yes. And Mayor LaFawn.
Yes. All right, may I motion to approve claims list 2022-07?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All righty. Any comments from the dais? And from the floor? On the claims list? We have a question on the claims list? You can come up. Yes?
Maria Janusik. On the page that's titled supplemental checklist, there's an amount of $45,288 for, that is the vendor's spatial data logic, and it's for 2022 licenses. And then you have, again, spatial data logic, 2022 licenses of 21,312. The 45,000 plus amount is from the current account, and then the 21,000 is from a trust account. What is that? What are these licenses, and what is that for? And why is it from two different accounts?
Isn't it municipal management software that we use?
Yes.
Right.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah, that's our SDL system that we use.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
That's our SDL, is spatial data logic. That's for licensing for all the employees. I believe what you're saying, I'm not sure 100%, but part of that funding is being out of the trust fund from our building department. So they use quite a few licensing there. So this is all licensing fees. Each person that uses that system needs a licensing.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding licensing. What licensing are we talking about?
Licensing
It's software.
It's
Software that's being
Right,
used.
so everybody
by-
that uses that software on their specific computer
Okay,
needs to log in, and needs, every person, so all the people here in the courtroom, they would need their own specific license, and there's a cost behind that. So if and when the township, as we did with COVID, everybody was up and running, no matter where, whether you're here or anywhere. So those licenses are extremely important, where you can get data anywhere 24/7, whether it's resident or business in the community.
I got a statement I can give you. This is from Nancy Costa that she gave me. So this is a annual licensing fee for our building department software, our OPRA tracking, our complaint system, tracking permits, tracking health licenses, just to name a few, is virtually used by every department in the town. So that is essentially the licensing software, which governs everything that we do on our computers. And some of it's paid, as you put through, from the monies from our building, because they receive different funding, and the rest is out of the general ledger.
and did she specify why it's from two different accounts?
I just told you.
I didn't hear that.
Some is from the building department because they have their own fees that they collect, and the rest is out of our funds.
Correct, Mayor.
So one is from a trust account. Okay. Let's see, what page is that? On page 2, the municipal court. It says substitute judge prosecutor, and then it's DeFrancesco Bateman, alternate prosecutor. Isn't Christopher Bateman the prosecutor for Hillsborough?
Mhm.
So what is this alternate prosecutor?
He's allowed to take time off periodically.
Or if there's a conflict, he can't be seeing it, you have to bring in an alternate prosecutor. So if he can't do it, then they have to bring somebody else in, and it's listed as an alternate prosecutor.
Okay, so.
So the money doesn't go to Mr. Bateman, it goes to the other guy.
So the money goes to whoever is substituting. So why is it being shown here as DeFrancesco Bateman?
So let me answer that, Mayor. So that was when Mr. Blandino was off and the backup prosecutor was DeFrancesco, and they covered.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Mr. Blandino was not here for that court session. So DeFrancesco firm took over as the backup prosecutor. So that's why they're being paid.
So just to be clear, when we hire a prosecutor, we don't hire a firm. That's a prosecutor. But we can hire an alternate to be a backup for a firm. So when the prosecutor cannot be here, someone else sits in their stead. And that person that was the backup is from DeFrancesco Bateman.
So who is the municipal prosecutor?
Kip Bateman.
Bateman. So before it was Mr. Blandino, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so
What Mr. Ferrer said is that when Mr. Blandino left, he was still named as prosecutor. Mr. Bateman's firm was his backup. They took over, so they are paid as the backup for that court date.
So this when Mr. Blandino's, not his firm, but when Mr. Blandino left, so, all right, so he left, and so Christopher Bateman was a substitute until someone was hired permanently? I'm not understanding this.
We're paying one prosecutor, whether it's the actual prosecutor or the alternate. I'm not sure what the confusion is. Someone has to be the prosecutor.
I understand, but
And we
you-
have a prosecutor and we have alternates. And who's ever in court that day is who gets paid.
Okay.
I'm not sure where the confusion lies.
Well, because Mayor Lapani said when Mr. Blandino left and Christopher Bateman came in as a substitute.
You know, in
and that
December,
became
I'm
very
just giving you a
confusing.
reference. Back in December, in January, we had to fill it on just as a reference or an example. So if someone can't be there, we have to have a backup because court has to go. So we had listed as a payment to the backup is what it is.
So the current Hillsborough Township Municipal Prosecutor is Christopher Bateman.
That's correct.
And
For the third time.
that is our former senator,
Correct.
former senator for this district.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. We have a motion. We have a roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeeman Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Erickson?
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante?
Yes, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second, Mayor.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Britting?
Yes.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Erickson?
Yes.
Mayor LaPlante?
Yes, we are adjourned. It's 9:15. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.